Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Chris Arreo.
And I'm Eric Fiorelli.
And this is the Entertainment Shelf Podcast, a podcast talking about video games, movies, and the occasional board game. Today is October 22nd, 2016, and this is episode 1 of the Entertainment Shelf Podcast. So hey everyone, this is episode 1. We figured we'd start off by talking about what this podcast is. Eric?
Right, once a week we'll sit down to discuss video games, movies, and if it feels right, board games. More specifically, it will be what we have been playing or watching over the week, and we'll also cover any big news like announcements or trailers pertaining to video games and movies.
So that was a little bit about the podcast. Now a little bit about us, the host. My name's Chris. I love film. I'm an aspiring filmmaker. I've been watching film as long as I can remember. That being said, I also love video games, and that's why I'm here talking with Eric.
Yeah, and my name's Eric. I'm more of the game guy. I obviously also love film too, but Chris is the real cinema critic, and I'm more of like a casual watcher. And video games, I mean, I've been playing them since I can remember. I think the Game Boy was my very first system, and I've stuck with them ever since. I'm in college right now. I'm majoring in accounting and also financial planning. But in my free time, I love to consume media like video games and movies.
Yeah, so since 7th grade, me and Eric have known each other, and we've been talking about video games and movies pretty much on a weekly basis, so we finally decided why not record it. So with that being said, to get to know us even more, here's our top 3 movies and games. Okay, Eric, you're up. What's your first game on your top 3?
Yeah, so I guess this isn't in no particular order, but the first game I'd like to talk about is Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8.
Yes.
Not 7, 6, 5?
Well, no. Really, it came down between Mario Kart 8, and which is on the Wii U, and Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube.
But aren't they all the same? You just like drive and throw
similar
toads at people?
Similar concepts, yeah. Well, no. I guess real quick, the reason I love Double Dash so much is because it let you team up with a friend rather than pretty much every other game you're racing against your friends.
That must have been hard for you, finding friends to team up with.
Well, actually, I normally would team up with my older sister for the most part.
All right.
Yeah.
No shame in that.
We weren't too great at either of us at the time, but it was still a fun way to not be throwing, a controller at one another for beating each other.
All right, I think that's as in-depth as we can get about Mario Kart 8.
Well, that was actually Double Dash.
Sure it was. Exactly. My point.
Real quick though on Mario Kart 8, right, which is actually my favorite. I just love how polished of a game it is. It's just so much fun. And really the soundtrack, I don't know if you've heard the soundtrack, Chris, but
no,
it is amazing. It's completely orchestrated. Nintendo's been doing that
with real instruments,
real life instruments. Yes,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it just sounds so good. But yeah, the game's just so shiny and it's so fast. And
I like shiny.
It's super addicting. So
I played one of them, but I really couldn't tell which because
there's been 8. So yeah, I guess they call kind of
the same.
No, well.
Okay, so moving off to another game that has pretty similar games. What's your next one?
Yeah, so next I'd like to talk about Civ V, Civilization 5.
Wait, does this include the Brave New World expansion?
Yes, I have all the expansions.
Okay.
Yeah, so Civ is my favorite strategy game. I play a good amount of strategy games like Fire Emblem, games of that nature, but Civ, it's just, once again, it's such aesthetically pleasing to see. Honestly, one of the main reasons I bought my PC was to play Civ 5.
Wow.
Yeah, which
hope you got a lot of good use out of that PC.
Yeah, I get a good amount of use out of it for sure.
Just Civ 5 though?
Well, I mean that's I also wanted to play AAA games on my PC, but yeah, Civ 5 just it's such an in-depth strategy game. Like one game goes on typically for like 40 hours. So it's just.
So how many hours at a time do you usually put into it?
Well, that's the problem. I'd like to put in like 1 hour at a time, but it's so hard to do that because you don't want to put it down and then you'll forget where you left off.
Yeah,
so
strategy games are like that. You have to keep a constant pace.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I so rarely can sit down for 5 hours to play Civ. So it's like a love-hate game. I just wish I had all the time. I feel like I'm going to retire, and when I have nothing better to do, I'm just gonna
retire one day.
At 65, I'm gonna retire and master Civ 5. I'm gonna be playing on the highest difficulty and just be a pro at it. I mean, Civ 25 will be out by then, but I won't care.
Yeah, back in my day, we played Civ 5. So, is that it on Civ 5? Or?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So the last game, some people might say recent-itis, but
I would say that.
it's Rocket League. So
okay.
I own Rocket League on 2 different platforms, Xbox One and PC.
Lucky you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a PS4, so I didn't get it for free at any point. But Rocket League, the thing I love about it most, I mean, I've played plenty of sports games, over the years, but sport games always have, that over the top view, right? Like you're looking down as you play. Rocket League, it's not first person, obviously, but you're like on the field and you feel like you have full control over the car and you just feel like you're a player on the field. It's like, that's what I kind of, want virtual reality to be, but that's a whole nother.
You want sports players to be cars.
Yes.
I mean, I love Rocket League too. I think it's a great game. It's fun. We played it a lot together.
I love what they're doing with it too. It's $20, and then every single piece of content, aside from like cosmetic, like different cars that you can buy, has been free. Like they put out new maps, new modes.
Yeah, the modes have been great. You got hockey was like the first one. What did they do? Basketball?
Yeah, I think basketball was next. Now they have that Rumble mode.
Yeah, Rumble's great.
Yeah, Rumble's awesome.
It's like a whole new game with Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. And I've put in, I think, almost 150 hours into this game. So that's why I'm saying I don't think it's really recent-itis. I mean, I've had the game for at least a year by now. I really think I'm going to be playing this for years to come.
I think it's a great game. Maybe too soon to put it in the top 3. But
yeah, I can respect that.
I respect it though as an option.
I do want to say there's like a list of 10 games I could have easily put on my top 3, and I just kind of I just went with.
Did most of them include all the Mario Karts?
I mean, Double Dash I guess was up there.
Of course, Double Dash.
But
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So how about we throw it to you? Talk about your top 3.
All right. My top 3 games are a little different than Eric. I usually go more strategy or like indie games. So my first game is Crusader Kings 2.
Not Civ 4?
No, it's more in depth and I like it. It's more
Chris has all right, I'm gonna stop you for a second. Chris has put I think the most hours in this game than anybody on the planet.
Well, that's why it's in my top 3.
I go into Steam and I look at Chris's, like recently played or whatever. It says Crusader King, like 850 hours, something just.
Well, I was going to talk about how you had 150 hours,
which sounds
Rocket
like nothing
League.
to some people.
That's great. That's nice. I'm close to getting to 1,000 hours played.
How many hours are legit? I ran off to dinner.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't legit. I just leave it on because I don't want to close it out.
But only so many of them couldn't have been. I mean, at least.
You said you can't sit down and play 5 hours of Civ 5. I can play 10 hours of Crusader Kings.
Yeah,
and just sit there and
that's pretty
play.
impressive.
The main reason is that it's not just the base game. There's great mods for it. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, they have a great mod for it. I spend plenty of hours playing that. It's really you put more
I modded Minecraft once
into it. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So it's more role playing. You you have a dynasty member. You gotta keep your dynasty alive. You gotta have kids. Make sure you have enough to keep alive. You gotta assassinate people to gain power. It's all about building prestige for your dynasty. It's a really cool game. I would check it out if you're into that kind of stuff.
It's a pretty old game at this point, right?
I don't know how many years it's been now. Probably close to 5. I don't know.
Really? Okay. All right.
It's by Paradox. They've done a lot of cool games Hearts of Iron. That's pretty cool. But my favorite is Crusader Kings because I'm into the medieval stuff. And that's pretty much it for that. My next game, way different than Crusader Kings, but it's a smaller game. It's a roguelike dungeon crawler, The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. This game's cool. I've showed it to you before.
Yes.
You called it what, similar to Zelda?
Yeah, a little A little bit. It depends which Zelda you're talking about, but it is like that over the head view, and you're just. I mean, this is like it's randomly generated, correct? Every time you play.
Yes, that's what makes it so great. Is that it's replayability. It's only like I would say like goes from like a half hour, maybe even like 20 minutes to an hour of gameplay. It varies between there.
It's fast paced.
It's created by Emmett McMillan. You might have known him from Super Meat Boy.
Right. Yes.
He was on Indie Game the Movie.
Great game.
Team Meat. He's a great guy. The game is fun. It's easy to pick up. That's why I like it. And it's you just play it whenever you want. You know, you don't really need to be thinking about it. It's like get in, play it, put it down, you're done.
Yeah, it's great. Last game.
There's also I wanted to mention Afterbirth Plus is coming out. It's a new expansion on it. Afterbirth is an expansion on Rebirth, and it's Rebirth's remake of the original Binding of Isaac. So I'm excited for Plus. I hope it adds way more cooler stuff. My last game, I don't know if everyone's really heard of it. It's Mountain Blade. It's really indie. I haven't played it in a while though. But
it's a deep cut.
Yeah. You got soldiers with swords. You got horses.
We haven't played this one together, right?
No, it's single player. But I also love this game for another reason, similar to CQ2, is that there's a Game of Thrones mod for it, and I love Game of Thrones, and I like being able to play in that kind of world. So I played that a lot. You conquer castles. You build up like an army. You recruit guys. It's pretty cool. They have a new one coming out for this too. I think it's Bannerlord. I'm excited for that. They'll say cool updates for it. So I'm excited for that coming out. That's my top 3.
Right. I can respect that list.
Can you?
To some degree.
All right.
Sure.
That's good enough. I'll take that.
All right. So now I guess it's time to move on to our top 3 movies. I guess I will start that off.
All right.
All right. Well, this one is a little bit more in order because my all-time favorite movie is The Godfather Part 1.
That's a good movie.
Thank you. Yeah. Glad I got your approval. Yeah. Anything that has to do with the Italian mafia, I'm just like all for it. I just eat that stuff up.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's my favorite line from that.
But actually I read the book before I watched the movie, and that's really kind of what made me want to see the movie.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Do you think reading the book adds to your love for it? Does it add to the movie, you think? Or is it completely different?
Yes. No. I mean, as people say all the time, the book's better than the movie.
I say that all the time.
Right, yeah. Smart people say that. And in this case, it's true. The book, I feel like, was better just because there's so many characters in the movie, and you get way more detail in the book, obviously. So I was glad I read the book first because I felt like I knew, going in, I had background information that they didn't necessarily go into.
Is there any smaller characters in the movie that are like way bigger in the book? Or is it like...
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess there's no spoilers at this point. It's a pretty old movie.
I think we're good.
Yeah, but Michael's wife, his second wife, she plays a lot bigger of a part in the book. Not like a huge, but I mean, you just get more detail on her.
You know more about her?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You're like inside Michael's mind when he first meets her, and like he starts to like immediately like fantasize about her, and you just kind of like get way more detail. But yeah, I mean, quick side note, I know a lot of people would probably say Godfather Part 2 is their favorite.
I can't say that because I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, I've heard a lot of people say that. They're like right there, super close, almost practically a tie. The reason I like Godfather Part 1 a little bit more is because it's like the family is like all together before it gets super dysfunctional.
I mean, you get Don Corleone, right? So like that's another big thing. I mean, you get him kind of in the second one, right? With Robert De Niro. Yeah,
that part is awesome. The flashback with Robert De Niro is amazing. But, I really just like the first one is like, it's all getting started and the family's together. They're working together. And it's, pretty much before it gets super dysfunctional, as, you can imagine, a crime-ridden family like that would happen. But, yeah, so I'm going to move on to these next 2 aren't really in order. But I'm a big comedy guy. I like to, watch funny movies.
I'm not everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I'm not huge on horror, but comedy, yeah, sure, throw it on.
Comedy horror, you know that?
Yeah, I can get into that a little bit more. Yeah, for sure. But Anchorman 1 it's got to be
classy, San Diego.
He says that at one point, yes.
It does? I was just saying that.
It's a lucky guess. No, but it's got to be my favorite comedy with Ron Burgundy. It's just so funny. I love spoofs of Anchorman, like when they just act and just say like ridiculous things because
yeah, it's like a whole spoof on kind of like the whole news
yeah, like they have like the deep voices and they just say like ridiculous things
and like how like news people like use like random crap to like, get like views
exactly. I just thought it was such a funny movie. I mean, I don't want to spend, it's a comedy, I don't want to spend a whole ton of time
on
I was
gonna say I like going back and watching Anchorman. It's cool to see like you got Jack Black in an awesome scene where he kicks Baxter off a bridge. It's like,
which is
Jack
like
Black.
It's so clearly a rag doll that he kicks. It's amazing.
That's what makes it better.
Yeah,
is that it has that.
Yeah, if they try to make it like more realistic, I would have like felt bad. But it's like the most obvious rag doll that ever. It's so funny.
Yeah, I wasn't even mad.
No,
I was impressed actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also Seth Rogen's the camera guy in it.
Right.
Like it's like Seth Rogen.
The whole part with the pattern on his pants when he's talking to Veronica.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. But yeah. So and then lastly, The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight's a great movie.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, there's so many superhero movies out these days. Like more than multiple come out a year at this point. But The Dark Knight. So Batman and Iron Man are my two favorite superheroes. The reason I like them so much is because they seem like the most realistic. Now, are you a fan of Iron Man pre-Iron Man 1 movie? Or is the movies what got you into the movie? I mean, I knew about Iron Man, but yeah, the first Iron Man movie like got me hooked. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I would say the same for me.
Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, neither of them, they weren't like bitten or like, they didn't fall in a toxic, waste and then they got their
super. They earned their powers.
Exactly. They're just like rich dudes who are like
really like, smart.
Yeah.
They have everything. They're perfect.
Yeah.
Except one's got parent issues and the other one's got alcohol issues.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to sum it up, I guess.
We have our faults.
But yeah, so back to The Dark Knight. That was the first movie I ever saw in IMAX, and it was it was such a good movie to see in IMAX. The screen was like 3 times the size of a regular movie theater. The sound was just blasting. It was amazing, and Heath Ledger obviously was just the best Joker I've ever seen. And
I think we were like in 7th grade. That summer of 7th grade, before 7th grade, is when it came out. I remember not seeing it in theaters. I did see Batman Begins in theaters.
Okay,
but I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I remember everyone talking about it at the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to wrap it up, Dark Knight, it's just, especially with like the new Batman movie, the Batman v Superman, and seeing what it's kind of like turning into, I really wish that they could go back and make more movies, superhero movies like that.
I'm a big fan of people, like movies that have a beginning and end. Like nowadays, it's all about continuing the franchise.
Exactly.
It's never going to stop.
How can we make this go for 40 more years?
Stories have a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
And every
especially with superheroes, there's so many different timelines. Like it's what's wrong with having one Batman for 3 movies and then casting a new one for like a completely different timeline? Like no one's gonna care. I mean,
they've been recasting Batman for forever.
True, exactly. I mean,
Batman Forever.
I mean, we know it all obviously all comes down to money. So I mean, this conversation, like we know the answer. They know that if they put out a new one, people are going to go pay and watch it. So
now, okay, we talked about Dark Knight. How do you like the first one? Batman Begins?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that one's really, really great. The third one, do you like that one?
So yeah, the third one, I know it's a good movie.
I don't like it.
Okay, I'm definitely not going to say I don't like it. I do.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Like it's an okay movie. It's passable. But when you have the first 2 being so great, it's like you almost had a perfect trilogy, and then you missed your chance.
Yeah, I mean, it was a misslip for sure.
I love Christopher Nolan, but I feel like he dropped the ball in the third one.
I can agree with that. I mean, if nothing else, they had some pretty awesome scenes in it, with like the whole stadium collapsing, things like that.
Yeah, it's cool scenes, but like
I mean, you need more than that.
Yeah, and also like the stupid things like adding Robin for no reason, like name dropping him. You could add the Joseph Gordon-Levitt character.
What was up with that, right? Yeah.
It was weird. Also, like Batman gets back to Gotham, and then he goes and spends time building a nice picture of Batman in flames on a building when he could have been saving people. It's questionable, but I I enjoy all three of them. The two I enjoy a lot more than the third one. I have all three on Blu-ray, so I can't hate the third one that much. But.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna knock it too hard, but it's definitely the worst out of the three.
All right. So I guess we're going to move on to my top three. Is that your top three already? Yep.
Yep, I'm all done.
So my top three was really hard. I have so many movies. I don't really have a movie like people say, like, what's your favorite movie? I don't really have a number one.
Right, yeah.
Because it constantly changes for me.
Of course.
But usually I would say when someone push comes to shove, I say Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is directed by Edgar Wright. It stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It's part of the Cornetto trilogy, with Shaun of the Dead and At World's End. It's my favorite of three. It's my favorite comedy. I think it's hilarious. Have you seen Hot Fuzz?
I've seen parts. I've never been a huge fan, but I mean, I can't say anything about it too bad because I haven't seen it like start to end.
Yeah, well, we need to fix that. We need to watch it start to end.
It's a good time to watch it right now. With I know it's not a Halloween movie, but it's
I guess it does. It does have some like mystery and like some kind of horror elements. It has has some like references to like to The Omen and stuff, which is like pretty scary, I guess.
Right.
But it's basically about a police officer named Nicholas Angel, who is Simon Pegg, who was like the best police officer you can imagine. Like he's perfect at his job. And they send him away because he's just too great and he's embarrassing everyone. They send him away to a small village who has like no crime at all. And then mystery unfolds. It might be there is actually some bad things going on. And then Simon Pegg teams up with Nick Frost, who's not so great of a cop. And
shenanigans ensue.
Exactly, yeah. Also, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, Sandor, Rory McCann, he's in it. He plays a really interesting character. He's funny.
All right, how many more Game of Thrones references?
I just got to keep throwing them in there. David Bradley, this is for people who also like Harry Potter. He's in there. He's also in Game of Thrones. He plays Walder Frey. He's also Filch in Harry Potter. And Peter Jackson, the director of The Lord of the Rings, which might be important in the next segment, my next favorite movie. And he plays a small cameo where he plays Santa Claus who stabs Simon Pegg. So that's cool.
All right, so sounds like you're about to segue into your next one.
Yes, my next favorite movie. I guess I can't list them all as my favorite, so I'm gonna say The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers is one of my favorite movies. Specifically, that one is.
I want to stop you for a second. Lord of the Rings, your favorite trilogy, correct?
Yeah, I would say it's my favorite trilogy.
Followed by Star Wars.
Back to the Future, maybe. Second,
really? Over Star Wars?
Indiana Jones.
Even the prequels?
Oh, definitely not the prequels.
I'm kidding.
We're adding the prequels, then it's definitely not there.
Don't.
It's not a trilogy anymore.
Don't turn off the podcast. That was a joke. Okay.
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 Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the original Star Wars trilogy would be second. But Lord of the Rings is definitely number one.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear.
And specifically, too, it has great action at Helm's Deep. We know that where Gandalf comes down and saves everyone. It's great. It's also people don't like the ants. They're the giant talking trees. I like them. I like them a lot.
I can dig it.
Well, they say it's slow. I don't know if people don't like them specifically, but that's the.
I tried reading the book, the first book. That is, I mean, if you want to talk about slow, they're just walking and walking and walking.
Well,
I know the book's very, very old, so I guess they had time back then.
I need to confess, I read almost the first book. I stopped at one point and it's never got back to it. I need to. I have all three books. I mean, I gotta get back to it. It was great when I was reading it. I was enjoying it. I just need to get back to it. But back to why I like two specifically better than one or three is because the action. Also, Sam's speech is awesome in that. In case you've never seen it, just Google it. Sam's speech in Two Towers. It's great. And Andy Serkis is like very prominent in this as Gollum, and he's great. Andy Serkis is amazing. He deserves an Oscar. Hopefully, he gets it one day. And there's nothing really to say story wise because I just love all the story and all of it. But like that's specifically why 2 out of the other 3.
Okay, all right. What's your third favorite movie? All right,
my third favorite movie. This one was hard because I have a lot of movies tied for this spot, really.
Right. Yeah.
But I chose a movie that's maybe not necessarily in my top 3.
What's your third favorite movie today? Is really what the question is.
Even today, I wouldn't say. I'm just putting this movie on here because it doesn't get enough recognition. It's a really good movie. It's Super, directed by James Gunn. You ever see Kick-Ass?
No. I mean I know what it is, but I didn't get around to it.
Well, the problem it was like no one really knew about it is because Kick-Ass came out the same exact time, and it's similar premise. You have a guy who trying to become a superhero, but superheroes aren't real. It's not like he's not Iron Man or Batman.
Right.
And
He just kind of like makes a suit.
yeah.
And yeah.
Well, he decides he's done with like he's fed up with people getting away with bad things, and he's gonna stop it. It stars Rainn Wilson, the White from The Office. That's who it is.
Nice.
Directed by James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy. Ellen Page, Kevin Bacon, and Liv Tyler. They're all great actors. They're all in it. Kevin Bacon's great as the bad guy.
Cool.
So Rainn Wilson plays Frank. He's like an average man. Like he doesn't have a lot of great things going for him. But like the one thing that was good for him is that
his looks.
He met Liv Tyler, his wife, and she's like his happiest moment in his life. And then he loses her to Kevin Bacon because she's a drug addict and he's a drug dealer. And
match made in heaven.
Rainn Wilson as Frank has to now get her back, and he assumes he has a moment which is great in the movie where he has to now his call to action become the Crimson Bolt, which is a superhero name, and it's a great moment. And then he dons the Crimson Bolt and comedy and
Crimson Bolt is that a made up superhero or is that actually
it's Frank's? He's Crimson Bolt.
Okay, but that's not like a superhero from a universe.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
but he does go to a comic book store and like gets ideas for like how to become a superhero.
Right. Okay.
He decides on his weapon of choice is a wrench, and there's some great gruesome scenes with that. I wouldn't really say it's a comedy. It's funny in moments, but it's also very dramatic. Makes you kind of question if you should be laughing or if this is like really.
The answer's
up.
no.
There's some great scenes where like Rainn Wilson does a great crying face, and it's like I feel bad for him, but it's also hilarious watching him cry.
Gotcha. Okay.
Definitely check it out. It didn't get great reviews. Like on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's like around 48 or something. It cost nothing to make, like $2 million, but it didn't do well. I don't understand why it didn't do well. I mean, I think it's ahead of its time. It was like if it came out now with all these comic book movies, I think it's a breath of fresh air. Give it a watch for sure. Moving on, I guess now to
what's been on my shelf.
Yes.
Yeah. So on my gaming shelf, basically, what I've been playing recently. I'm going to start off talking about Super Mario World. Yes, the Super Nintendo game. So I have a new Nintendo 3DS, and a few months back, they started to add Super Nintendo games to the eShop. So perfect opportunity for me to play some of these games that I've never gotten to experience, that I've heard such good things about. Because like I said, I'm in college. I mean, you could probably guess, but I'm 20 years old. So I wasn't around to play all these Super Nintendo games back then.
Now, I have Super Mario World. I just haven't played it.
You have the cartridge?
Yes. I was thinking about playing it just for this podcast. But like, hey, this is what I've been playing to match up with you. Yeah. But I just haven't gotten the mood for it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm a huge platformer guy, so
there's a lot of options out there for platformers.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I mean, the Mario games are, arguably the best platformers ever made. So, I mean, specific ones, Super Mario World being one of those.
Just for be clear, I have played Mario games.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't know which ones they were, but I played
That's them. Fair enough. They're pretty similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I beat the game in 12 hours. Side note, I did...
Is that fast, or is that what
it's
like?
It's a little...
average?
It's a little hard to tell because I used save states, which I know some people... some people are like, oh, that's blasphemy, but...
Can't believe you did that.
No, I mean, I didn't use them in like ridiculous ways. I would save the game after I fully beat a level. So at no point did I use a save state within a level. Like, oh, I got past that really tough part. Now I'm going to save it.
As long as you can reconcile it with yourself, I think it's okay. I think you're fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I just really kind of wanted to get through the whole game and experience it. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's a couple secret worlds that I can still unlock that hopefully at some point I'll get back to unlocking. But yeah, no, the game feels amazing. It's one of those platformers where I'm so happy to have a D-pad to use because you need that precision. And it's a pixel game, like it's a Super Nintendo game, but it has that charm. Like I just really like the aesthetics of a lot of the Super Nintendo games. It's very
That's what everyone says about Nintendo games.
Very bright, and it had some pretty cool power-ups, like Mario can get a cape and he can fly around.
That's where that started, all that stuff? All like the power-ups and stuff?
No.
I wouldn't know.
I played Super Mario Bros. 3, which was on the NES. I think that's the oldest one. I mean, I played the original Super Mario Bros., but that wasn't even up like a platformer, really. That's kind of a different game.
Okay. But
Super Mario Bros. 3 had, all like the mushrooms and the fireballs, all that as well.
I love mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah, Mario does. Mario, he uses plenty of mushrooms throughout all these games, but
good for him.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so that's probably enough on that. Actually,
okay. So your next one?
Yeah, well, going into my next one, it's another Super Nintendo game that I've been
excited for that.
that I've been playing on my new 3DS. It's A Link to the Past.
Okay.
So
I haven't played Zelda.
You haven't played any, like?
No.
Okay. That's fair enough.
I would like to. I just haven't had the chance.
I've played several. Most recently, I've beaten Wind Waker. They had the HD remake on Wii U.
I saw some footage on that. It looked cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. I mean, Zelda games, and once again, they follow the same formula for the most part. So if you played one, you can kind of, you kind of know what to expect. Barring some different storylines and things like that. But yeah, this is another. It just looks so good. I love that, the 16-bit pixels, and it's like, so it's an over-the-top, again, view that you're seeing, but instead of like a different SNES game like Earthbound, where you get into an encounter with somebody and then it turns into kind of like a Pokemon where it's a turn-based, you have like 4 options. With A Link to the Past and Zelda, you have like it's real time, so you have your sword and you'll see an enemy, cool. And then you start slashing them, and it's just, and you have to figure out the best place to hit enemies and use your boomerang on certain enemies.
So like heads more damage points than like arm or something.
Not necessarily. I'm about 12 hours into this game as well, but
they just have weakness spots.
Yeah, like if you hit certain enemies on a certain spot, it just won't do damage. Okay. So yeah, and so far I'm loving it. The dungeons are super fun. There's a lot of cool puzzles in them. I think that's probably enough on that for now. But
okay.
Yeah, and then I'm
very interested in your next game.
Okay, yeah, I know you know what this game is, and it's Downwell. So have you ever bought this game?
I own Downwell. It's very cheap. It's like $3 on Steam, and it's great for the price.
Okay, cool. So I actually bought it on my iPhone because it's on iOS, which I really don't play a whole ton of games on my iPhone. I'm not like huge on touchscreen controls, so unless it's
me neither.
Right. So unless it's like a slow game or like a game where it's like turn-based, I normally don't like it. And to be honest, I haven't been real thrilled with the controls on Downwell either, but it's such a good game that it
I think it's great on PC, the controls.
Oh, absolutely, because you cannot use a keyboard, mouse, or an Xbox controller. I do want to buy it on PC at some point. Like you said, it's $3. It's $3. So, but yeah, the game's so good that it, the controls, you can forgive the controls. Like sometimes, you're gonna hit a button that you didn't want to, but it's not a huge deal. So essentially, what Downwell is, you're going down a well, like the name of the game. You're just
I figured that much.
It's like, I don't know, I guess it's more like 8-bit style.
I would describe it as like just like The Binding of Isaac. It's very similar. You put like you can put like 15-20 minutes in it and feel good about it at a time.
You can put 2 minutes into this game.
And you feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah, because it's got that really satisfying feeling where after the level, even if you didn't get too far,
it's very easy to pick up too. The controls is not complicated.
Yeah, and after the level, it'll count up all your points, and then the bar, it'll move ever so slightly over towards like the next level. And after each level, you unlock new palettes, which is really cool. So you can change how the game looks. Like it normally is like a black background with red sprites, but you can get like a blue background. It's pretty fun. It makes you want to keep playing and unlocking new ones. It's
also got like a Spelunky type thing where like you can stop and like go to a shop, right?
Yes.
Kinda.
Yep.
But you don't use you use like what is it, like crystals, hearts? I forget.
Yeah, they're like crystals, gems. Okay. They're called gems in the game.
You get it from like landing on other monsters, and there's like this like red thing, right, that you land on. and you get the gems.
Yeah. I mean, you can go into like caves and get gems, find gems there. But yeah, anytime you kill a monster, a gem will pop out, and if you can get it in time, then.
And once you're in the store, like the game freezes, right? Like the monsters stop moving and things. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't think you can, but I tried to like kill the shop owner because I didn't have enough gems to buy something I wanted. It didn't seem like.
Yeah, I don't think you can. It's not like Spelunky like that. You can't kill him.
But it's kind of funny because if you do jump all the way to the right where the items are sitting, the shop owner will like make a face at you.
He gets mad. Mad
so I'm like, is he gonna attack me? But I don't think you can ever get to that point.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't gotten super far into it, but I hear I've seen the end. It's pretty cool, I think.
So you can actually get to the very bottom of the well?
I'm pretty sure, there's a final boss.
Oh, wow. Okay, I had no idea. I thought it was kind of like an endless...
no, eventually it ends.
Okay, because I've gotten like 3... Like, you get so far and like you get new enemies. I've gotten to like three wells, I guess, where like new enemies have spawned. So, yeah, really enjoying that game. Definitely highly recommend it.
Okay. So, moving on to what I've been playing recently is Rocket League Rumble. We talked about it earlier, Rocket League. Rumble is the new update where like they include power-ups and stuff.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, so Rumble, the first time you play Rumble, it's like playing Rocket League all over again because there's what, like 8 or so power-ups that they...
10 maybe?
Yeah, probably between...
I might confuse like the 10-second drop down.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, but there's around, 10 or so new power-ups. And when you first play this mode, you're like, this is ridiculous because it's so hectic. You're like, this is so random.
What I like about it though is like it's like starting over skill wise in Rocket League. Like if you weren't like don't want to go back to Rocket League because everyone's too good, it's like this is starting over.
And it's also unranked. There's no ranked mode right now, so I mean it doesn't really matter if you lose. But yeah, it's super hectic. I mean, I don't want to talk too much because this is your game that you've been playing.
I mean, we play this a lot together, so it's fine. But I love all the power ups. I think all of them are useful in their own ways, like either defensively or offensively.
I think they're very well balanced.
Yeah, I think considering they might have rebalanced some things. Like spikes, I think was a little bit better early on. And it was great. Spikes.
I was gonna say if anything's overpowered, I think spikes.
I think they changed it now. Like now you can like get the spike on your car where it slows you down and stuff, and easily knocked off.
You can use like ice to
freeze the ball.
Yeah, to get rid of spikes and things like that. Like you can counter.
You can use the boxing glove though.
No, which it kind of seems.
That's
ridiculous.
my favorite power up though. It's boxing glove.
Oh my gosh, boxing glove! Just I'll get into like the center of the.
That satisfying moment when you hit it and go straight into the goal.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I also love harpoon. That's my second favorite.
Okay.
Similar to boxing glove, but like it just drags you all the way across the map. It's really fun, even if you don't get a score.
Yeah. You can. Some like pretty cool scenarios can happen if the ball goes flying in the air and then you harpoon and you're just like following the ball all the way up to the top of the map.
Yeah, some great times with that. So that's really for that. I haven't played that many games recently, but I have been playing Quiplash. Nice. I've had a lot of family over recently, and Quiplash is more like gives you a prompt and you have to like answer it in the most funny way. Right. And then you vote on it. Whoever's there votes on it. You play with your cell phones, and you vote on it. Who's the funniest answer? So I wanted to also bring up that Quiplash 2 just came out in the new Jackbox Party Pack 3. So I hear it adds new prompts, but you can also create your own prompts, which you can't do in the first one. So that's interesting.
Man, so you're saying I have to be even more creative?
I wouldn't let you create the prompts.
Okay.
It's $25, I think. I think it's on sale for a little less.
It'll go on sale during a Steam sale.
It's like $22 right now, but full price is $25.
I'd wait. I get the original one. Get the original one for now for cheap.
Yeah, I got it for $10 on Xbox One for the first Quiplash.
But like you said, great game for family when family comes over, friends.
Unless you have really unfunny people in your family.
Actually, I have played with like extended family, and
the extended family is never funny.
I mean, you don't want to be like offensive and like.
Oh yeah, people were like, I can only say curse words to be funny. Well, you could also just be funny.
It was good. It was still a good experience, but not, not the best.
Sometimes you find out what your family's really like when this comes up. You're
you
like,
to turn off the system.
Maybe I should talk to Tony a little bit less. So
that's a great game.
That's it for what I've been playing.
All right. So then what I've been watching, I haven't seen any movies this week, but I have been actually watching The Sopranos. I know it's really old, and it's going back to the whole...
Sopranos?
Yes, going back to the whole Italian Mafia thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually on the very last season. and I'm like just over halfway through because the last season has 20 episodes, maybe like just over 20, which the other seasons had about like 12 or so. So it takes, longer to get through. They're about an hour each episode. But I am absolutely loving it. Even the last season, I'm at the point where, like I said, there's 20 episodes. I'm halfway through. So they're just, like kind of like buying time.
Yeah, you feel like some episodes might have a little bit of filler in them.
There's a ton of filler.
But it's good filler, right?
Yeah, it's so good. I don't care. It's like like this storyline has nothing to do with I know like what's gonna happen later. Like, but it's so good. The actors are so good, and it's just like you get to know them so well, and really,
you care about terrible people.
Yeah, they are.
It popularized.
You start feeling
I like
for
a bad
them.
person, which Breaking Bad perfected.
Exactly.
It started there in Sopranos. I have only seen the first couple episodes of Sopranos. Really liked it. Other thing I have to get back to. I have seen the finale. That was when it first aired. My parents.
I don't want to hear about it.
I mean, there's not much to hear, really. So
okay, I've been able to get through without anybody. One time I was watching ESPN of all things, right?
On DSPN.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, one of the sportscasters was like, "Oh yeah, this is like the finale of The Sopranos." I'm just like freaking out, like trying to, I'm like fiddling with the controller. I'm like, I need to mute this. I'm like, why? Why is this?
Spoilers happen to the best of us.
Yeah, but you always have to be alert. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
And then the only other thing I've been watching, it's another TV show, Southpark. They have
never heard of it.
Okay, well, do you like cartoons?
I love Southpark.
Yes. Actually, funny thing, I've seen like random episodes of South Park, but this is the first time I've actually been
started a season.
Yes, pretty much started a season. So they're on season 20 now. So yeah, I'm a little late to the game, but it's still really easy to jump in and get to know the characters.
I feel like this season's been pretty on point. I mean, I haven't seen the first episode because it wasn't on demand, but I started with season. I watched episode 2, which I thought was hilarious.
Okay,
I missed the whole like kneeing stuff with Kaepernick.
Yeah, with Kaepernick.
Yeah. I was on
national anthem.
I got to watch the troll episode with where like they're trolling on the internet.
Oh, right. That's kind of what they're doing right now. That's what the last few episodes.
Yeah, it ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So I mean, don't need to get too far into South Park, but obviously great show.
This is great. Watch it. All right. So guess we're moving to what I've been watching. So over the past week, I've gone to see the Harry Potter movies in IMAX.
Right. Yeah, they put them back on the big screen.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. There's an event pass. I bought it, $30. Like, why not? It's like, I don't know. Like,
it's 8 movies?
Yeah, 8 movies. So that's a good price to see it in IMAX. Yeah, I saw the first 4 all in a row. You wait like an hour.
Passed out.
I mean, I was really tired. I had to like drink energy drinks to stay up during the fourth one, which was fun watching the fourth one in IMAX, which is Goblet of Fire. So yeah,
is it weird? I'm sorry. Is it weird going like back to back and seeing them? Because the movies are like a few years apart. Not all of them.
No, it was great.
But like you see, like you're watching the first one, and then you see them get like a foot taller in the next one. You're like,
I think it just makes it even better.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But like, what's great, I got to see all 4 in a row, and then the next day I went back to see. They did 4 a day, so I went to go see 5, 6, 7, 8, and 5 worked. Order of Phoenix, and then I went to go see 6, and it wasn't working. So they said, "Here's a free IMAX ticket. Come back. Maybe the next one will work." Came back. Next one didn't work. Said, "You probably shouldn't come back later. It probably won't work." Came back later. It did work, but I had to watch 8. So I went from 5 to 8, which felt really weird. Then I came back later in the week and watched the ones I missed.
But you got some free IMAX passes out of it, correct?
Yeah, but like just ruined the momentum.
Well, yeah, I mean that's not why you're going.
I can't say I watched them all in a row now.
Okay, so how many IMAX passes did you get?
I got 2.
2? Okay, so you can.
It's good. I mean,
there's some good movies coming out.
That costs like $15 for an IMAX.
Yeah.
So and I paid $30. So,
and you own the Harry Potter movies.
I own them all. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna watch them again now.
Yeah. So there you go.
Just all Harry Potter all week. I want to comment on that. I thought 4 and 2 were strangely really good again, watching it on IMAX, and usually don't get enough love, 2 and 4. There's a lot of flaws with them if you're like comparing it to the book, but they're fun movies.
I mean, it gets, at this point, I've seen every single one, super jumbled. I mean, you say 2 and 4, I have no idea which.
Okay, so Chamber of Secrets and Goblet of Fire.
Okay, Goblet of Fire may be my favorite.
I think for people who aren't super into Harry Potter, like Goblet of Fire, because it's very action based, the movie,
right.
which is fun. That's why I liked watching it in the theater, because I already know the story. Was getting a little tired towards the end, but the action kept me awake. 2, I just felt gets overshadowed. It's right between like 1, the first one, which everyone loves because it's the first, and 3, which most people consider the best, Prisoner of Azkaban. But Kenneth Branagh is in it. He plays Gilderoy Lockhart, and he's just great. It's just great watching. He's hilarious. So I recommend watching that one again.
All right, yeah. I own them all as well, so I'll get around to that.
It also got me pumped. I'm definitely going to see Fantastic Beasts when it comes out.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't think that's going to be a bust.
Yeah. I hope not. I mean, I'm not a big fan of prequels, but we'll see.
Okay.
So I've also watched this movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's directed by...
Not on the air, Chris. All right.
Okay, sorry. PG-13. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is directed by Shane Black. He directed The Nice Guys. Came out this year. Really great movie. So I was recommended to see Kiss Kiss Bang Bang after seeing Nice Guys and liking it. And it's pretty similar in concept. I mean, you got like 2 guys kind of solving a mystery. It's got RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. You like him,
yeah,
Iron Man.
Good actor.
Got Val Kilmer. It was great, Val Kilmer.
Yep.
He's not as big now, but he was. Well, he's bigger now, but in a different way.
Right, of course. I don't think he's gonna be tuning into this.
I hope not. I love Val Kilmer. It's very funny. It's got it plays on cliches of like the kind of like action movie, mystery movie kind of thing, like things you wouldn't expect. It turns it on its head. Like you think one thing's happening, another thing happens. Similar to Hot Fuzz in that way. There's great scenes. I don't want to spoil, but there's a great scene with Robert Downey Jr. peeing in the bathroom. You gotta see it. It's great. It's fun. Okay. There's also a great scene with like Val.
That's a tough one to say. I don't want to spoil. Like I can't tell you exactly what this scene's about, but he's peeing, so just go watch.
Oh, he's peeing a lot.
Okay.
RDJ is also is a scene where he loses a finger, which is really funny. Like it comes out of nowhere.
It's dedication.
Yeah, he really lost a finger. Also a great scene with RDJ and Val Kilmer in the lake. There's great chemistry between them in the movie. I also recommend watching the commentary on it with Shane Black, RDJ, and Val Kilmer. It's hilarious. It's also very informative. There's a scene where they're picking up a dead body, Val and Robert Downey Jr., and then Val's points out the body gets a lot lighter right here, and you watch it and they just pick up the dead body without any problem. It's hilarious.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because most of the time I feel like people just they don't even check out those special features too much anymore. And
it's sad because a lot of DVDs are not having it anymore.
Right.
But it's a great, if you do it well, it's great. Sometimes it's very boring. But
okay, so is that all you've been watching?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so now we would like to move into a segment about the games and movies we've been missing. So it's the fall. A lot of great games, especially, have been coming out.
A lot of things are out. Hard to play it all and watch it all.
Exactly. So I think I'll start off, and I've been missing mostly games. No surprise, Mafia 3, I want to play that game. I know it hasn't been getting amazing reviews. There's been some technical...
It's pretty mixed.
Right, yeah. On Steam, I just looked today, it's a 49%. I
think it's worse on Steam because PC's having, I think, more problems than consoles.
Which is, happens all the time. Like Batman, Arkham Knight had the same issues, but... Yeah, when you get past that, I am hearing, though, that the story is pretty phenomenal.
Story, soundtrack, I hear, is really good.
Oh, soundtrack, yeah, people are raving.
I also want to play this game very much.
Yeah, so, I mean, with the Mafia games, I played Mafia 2, and it was the same thing. People complained about the open world. They had this big city, but...
I played a little bit of Mafia 2. Okay. I can't really remember, though.
Okay, well, there's this big city you're driving around, and it's a pretty cool... open world, but there's just nothing to do. The only thing you can really do is go collect magazines. They have Playboys you can go collect, and you can only do that for so long before you lose interest. But the story was really good in Mafia 2. So it's kind of, unfortunately they didn't really learn, it sounds like.
Well, I'm hearing the big problems is AI stuff with non-playable characters. I saw some videos of people just lining up bodies in the streets and kind of breaking the game. I hear it's a lot of breaking the game, but I hear
I've never been to
in a funny way. At least we can give them that.
I mean, I've never been to New Orleans, Chris, so I don't know how people act. I don't know if you can line them up like that or not.
I hear you can.
According to this game, you can.
Yes.
Yeah. But I will say, I was super hyped on this game, but now with the reviews and the issues, I think I'm more willing to let it pass for now and hopefully pick it up, like 50% discount.
Yeah. I was getting vibes of like Witcher 3 came out. 2 and 1, people weren't saying they're not great. There's problems with them. Right. And 3 nails it though.
Yeah.
I was hoping Mafia would do the same.
I mean, there's really no excuse for them to get the open world wrong again, especially with all the money.
Hopefully it's stuff they can fix.
I don't know. But I mean, they're just dumping so much money in this game, and it's really a shame that...
Maybe they focus too much on soundtracks and not fixing their AI.
Yeah, I don't know. But still looks cool regardless.
Okay.
So the next game is Forza Horizon 3. I'm a car guy.
I'm not a car guy, so I could care less about Forza.
Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, the cars look so realistic, and they have so many. I mean, you can go from driving like a BMW M5 to, like a RAV4, and
always wanted to do that.
Yeah. There's a lot of like jumps and things.
I love jumps.
Just like you're just driving around really cool areas like on the beach and in the forest. So that looks super fun.
Have you played? How do you think the multiplayer is? You hear anything on that?
Well, that's kind of what people really like about the Horizon series of the Forza games is they are fun to just jump in with your friends and do like races.
Now, is this the one with they drop you in like a helicopter, or is that a different car game?
I think you're thinking of Trackmania, actually.
Maybe.
Like the latest Trackmania.
There's some car game like innovating with the way they drop you in with your friends.
Okay. Maybe we're thinking of different games. But, I mean, Forza might do something like that. I mean, I haven't, as this segment suggests,
they all run together for me.
Right. I haven't gotten my hands on
Forza, Mario Kart, I can't tell the difference.
But, yeah, that looks great, and it's getting really good reviews. So, I want to pick that up at some point. And then last game real quick is Gears of War 4.
Now, this is interesting. I also want to play Gears of War 4. When I was watching the Harry Potter movies, I had to watch the Gears of War 4 trailer every time before the movie starts.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of advertisements for this game as well all over the place, so they're really pushing it.
That's 8 times.
Yeah. So actually, one of the things I'm most excited for in Gears of War is the fact that it's published by Microsoft, which, as they announced at the latest E3, pretty much all the games that they publish from here on out, you can play on your PC. Yeah, so I really want to try, because I have a fairly powerful PC, like, it's about like $1,200. So I'd really like to see how it runs on my PC. I don't think it's like crazy different, but I have heard it looks a little bit nicer on the PC. So that's pretty cool.
Now, did you say you played a lot of Gears, or would this be like the first entry?
No. This will be my very first Gears of War game. And honestly, from what I'm hearing, it's like this Gears has been just like the others.
I hear the story is really good.
Okay, well, I've heard like it's a good story, but they just haven't changed. Like it's almost like the same story as the
play-by-play kind of story. Yeah,
it's just very similar to the first one. Like the series hasn't grown.
Well, that's great for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it looks. I'm hearing it's a beautiful looking game. I feel like the consoles at this point are really hitting their strides. The games coming out, they're starting to look.
They have a big library now.
They actually look next generation. I feel like these games now, which is pretty exciting.
I never really played Gears. I can remember when the first Gears game, seeing it in GameStop, like just trying it out at the GameStop.
Yeah,
this looks amazing.
Right, they had the whole like cover system that was really new at the time and pretty innovative. And apparently that's still back and in full effect. So
a lot of people were saying they're starting to feel nostalgic for it.
Yeah, because it's been a little bit since they've come out with a new
sometimes
Gears.
You don't realize it's been that long.
Right. It sounds like it was good that they had a break between this one and the last.
Yeah, I like they took time.
Right. And it's not like Assassin's Creed or something.
Well, they're taking time now.
Yeah, they are taking time now, which is good. But okay, so that's about it for me.
What I've been missing, Eric gave us a lot of games. I would have put those games on, but I don't want to talk about it twice. Right. So I have a movie, The Accountant. You saw this trailer. I sent it to you because you're going to be an accountant. I would have saw it. It came out the same time the IMAX Harry Potter was playing. I could have saw it with my free ticket, but figured I'd save it. Got mixed reviews, so I'm like, I'll just wait. I'll wait on it. But the trailers looked great. The only thing I thought was a problem with the trailers is like Anna Kendrick really seemed out of place when I watched the trailer. Kind of like turned me off in tone. I love Ben Affleck though, especially since he's turned his career around, with his directing. I'm just going to have to wait on it.
Yeah, it looks like promising, like you said.
Some people are saying it's great. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Actually, real quick, I saw on Reddit a little bit ago this cool post, and it was saying how when you go on a website like Rotten Tomatoes and you see the score, you shouldn't really rate it like, okay, if it gets a 70%, you shouldn't be like, okay, that's a C-. I'm not going to see that movie. But rather you should be like, okay, there's a 70% chance I'll like this movie. And I think that's the way people should kind of try. I mean, with video games and them being $60,
I can see that. I mean, I put Super on my top 3. Super got a 48. I think movies that are around 50 actually could be great depending on who you are as a person and what you enjoy in movies.
Right. Yeah. It's a little different with video games, but I think that's a good way to look at movies. Yeah. Like, don't blow it off. Don't only watch movies that get like a 95 or above,
Yeah. I think Rotten Tomatoes is a good judgment, though, of paying to see it in theaters because you're paying money.
Yeah. And you're only going to see it once.
And there's only so much you can judge of before actually seeing it, right? So if it's got a really bad grade, I might as well just wait for it to come out and pay less money.
That's true. Okay.
All right. My next thing is a TV show, Luke Cage on Netflix. I watched Daredevil. I haven't seen Jessica Jones. I want to, though, because I love David Tennant, Doctor Who. Daredevil Season 1 was great, I thought. It was like almost perfect. Season 2, I thought had some flaws. Like the finale wasn't great, but I loved Punisher in it. So I was hyped for Luke Cage. I said I put it on my missing, but I have watched like the first 4 episodes. I had to get back to it. People say it gets better with every episode, but I feel like there's something off when I watch it. I feel like either it's the dialogue or some performances. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels awkward. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. All right. I can see that.
It just feels like some scenes just don't feel right. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go back and watch it. It could be directing. I don't know. People are saying it's great, though.
Well, it's kind of hard to pace.
I think it's a little overhyped.
It can be kind of hard to pace these TV shows now with, like, how many episodes are they planning? Do you know?
I forget how many's in the season. I think it's probably around 10.
But I feel like 13. Especially with these like, comic book.
I don't know when they're going to make another season. They made Daredevil season 1, 2. I don't think they're making Daredevil 3 yet, season 3 yet, but they're making Punisher. So I'm excited for that.
Okay. But I'm just saying, I feel like, so let's just say there's like 10 episodes and with these like comic book seasons, but you can probably really condense them down to like 2 hours worth or like 3 hours of good content. And then a lot of it can kind of be like filler. It's so that maybe that's what's kind of bothering you is the pacing a little bit.
I don't know. You would think the first, there's some great performances and like some like just kind of off. And like, I don't think it's anything with pacing. I just feel like some scenes are badly directed.
Okay, well, you're going to keep giving it a shot?
I'm going to finish it. All I'm going to see I'm not going to just make my opinion now.
Right, okay.
But it's how I feel so far. My last thing I've been missing, which I actually want to see, which is getting decent reviews, is Westworld on HBO.
Same. Yes, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I honestly don't know if I'm going to like it. Like, I'm kind of surprised by all the great things I've been hearing about it. But, I mean, I'm trying to finish up The Sopranos, and then I'm going to give that a shot as soon as I'm done.
I don't really know much about it. I watched the trailers, but I forgot. But the trailers were intriguing when I watched them, so I'm definitely going to watch it. I love things on HBO. HBO does a great job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's really all to say about that, but I got to watch that. And I plan to. I'm going to start soon.
All right, so now let's move on to some news. Let's start off with some gaming news. Actually, a very, very big announcement just recently. The Nintendo Switch has finally been revealed.
You say Switch?
I said Switch, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I can get behind that name. That's
Switch. It sounds fine, the name.
It was codenamed NX, which, I like that too, but they're not going to stick with a code name. So Switch is cool. It's the whole premise of they're merging their portable systems with their home consoles, so it's like you can switch between them.
It's all like in one screen, right? All the
yes. So if you know what a Wii U looks like, you got the gamepad, right?
Yes.
The Switch looks like a gamepad. It really does.
Yeah, it does.
But you can actually take off the sides of it, like where the controller pieces are.
The Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I believe that's what they're
called.
Yes, and then you can like give one to a friend and the screen has like a stand, so you can stand it up and then use those little controllers.
But all the technology's in the screen, right?
Yes, I mean, I did hear a rumor that, okay, so there's a docking station.
I think that's only for like being able to hook it up to your TV and stuff.
That's what it seems like, according to the official information we've gotten from Nintendo. But yeah, so you put it into the docking station, and then the screen will go onto your TV, and you'll see what's going on there. But there's a rumor saying that when the system's docked, it's actually able to be a little bit more powerful. So we'll have to wait and see if that's true. Fine either way.
They're saying it's going to be on the same level as like an Xbox One and PS4, right?
I don't know about that.
At least that's what everyone's hoping, at least.
I mean, it's a portable system, so you have to remember that it's it's very small.
But is that a problem then? Nintendo's still going for like the gimmick?
It's not. It's really not, in my opinion. Nintendo does their own thing. They've shown, look at the Wii. The Wii it looked like a GameCube in the graphics department.
But Nintendo's biggest problem is like third-party companies not staying with them. Because they can't put their games on their consoles.
You're right. Well, it does seem like they're getting a good amount of backers right now. At the very end of the official reveal video.
That's just the start of it, though. Like once the system comes out,
once like the Scorpio comes out and the PS4 is about to come out. But honestly, the PS4 isn't nearly as powerful as I was expecting it to be. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be like a huge jump. And the Scorpio is. It sounds like that's going to be powerful, but that seems really niche. So
once the Switch is like halfway through its lifespan, Xbox and PlayStation's going to be on their next new system.
Right.
It's going to be left in the dirt again.
It could be hard to support, but as long as Nintendo doesn't make the mistakes they did with the Wii U, which one of the biggest mistakes was they waited so long to put out their quality first-party games because Nintendo was so good at making their first-party games.
Making their games.
Like people normally, not everyone, but like someone like me, I don't care that I can't play Call of Duty on it or whatever because their first-party content's so good.
Yeah, but don't you want Nintendo to make a system where it's not like a side console? Like you need to own another console to have that one? Wouldn't you just prefer to go to one console?
Not really, because I feel like even if Nintendo made a console just as powerful or even more powerful than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, people aren't going to switch. They love their ecosystems with the PlayStation and Xbox. Like all their friends have those games. Like that's not really the market that they should be going after. And I mean, you can only make Mario look so good. I mean, he already looks really good in these games. It's just I think they made the right decision in the graphics department on this one.
Yeah, but let's talk about like what they're actually planning for people to use it, how they're going to use this system. So did you see the trailer?
Yes.
Or the video? What's like? No one's going to use their console like that. No one's going to be like, hey, you want to play
in the
2K17 on a small screen after playing basketball for real?
Yeah, okay.
No one's going to do that.
Well, no, you're absolutely right.
Why show that?
There's not going to be like some hot girl walking down the street with her Switch either, but I mean, probably not, at least. I mean, anyway, but the thing that I think they were really trying to hit home is they're trying to make a comeback with like co-op games, which I'm super excited to see because
now you can play co-op without other people owning a Switch.
Yeah, like you can.
They showed like everyone having a Switch playing together, but you don't need to have a Switch.
I mean, yeah. So they showed like 4 people with their own separate Switches playing Splatoon together. So like that's one way to do it. But they also showed, since you can detach the Joy-Cons, like you said, you can just give one of those to your friends and then you can play one game on the same screen. And if you dock it, then the small screen's not really an issue at that point.
And like I understand the idea of like it's useful if you're traveling, right? You're on a plane, you're on a bus.
Yeah.
Good to have.
I do want to say one thing about that though.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me or anything, but with portable systems, they've done studies and most people play their portable systems like strictly at home. Like people really don't, because people don't feel comfortable.
Then why is in the trailer someone's friends like calling from them out the window and you're like, oh, I gotta bring my Switch with me?
Because like that's what Nintendo would love to happen,
but it's never gonna happen.
I mean, people are gonna be playing their Switches in their living rooms and in their bedrooms.
If someone's like, "Hey, come outside, socialize with me," I'm like, "Oh, let me grab my Switch." You know what's gonna be fun? A Switch.
Yeah, well,
like no, please leave me alone. I'm playing a game.
I mean, it's a a little cheesy trailer. Like PlayStation.
I feel like
Xbox.
that's what Nintendo actually thinks is going to happen.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
They want their movements to happen. They never happen though.
well, that might be what it looks like in Japan. I have no idea. I've never been there. I know they love their
I
portable.
don't think it was Japan in the trailer.
No, I think it was. Well, I mean, the trailer was marketed for U.S. Yeah, but as far
Like the people in the trailer.
yeah, okay, sure, but I mean, you have to remember America's not Nintendo's only market, so
True.
yeah, I think I'm very hopeful for the system. It comes out. They confirmed it's still coming out March 2017, so not far away at all. We're gonna get plenty more information about this. Namely, I'm really eager to hear about the price and the battery power of this thing. I mean,
Yeah, battery power was a big thing.
yeah.
Is it gonna be like what 3 hour? What would you want from that?
Oh, I mean, I would definitely hope it's more. That's what I'm
You think
afraid
they're just
of.
gonna have like add-ons?
I
where
think
you
it's
can get more battery power.
They might have something like that. I don't know. I think it's gonna be around 3 hours, and I'm not happy with that.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like ideally, you want it to be like 10 hours. Like
if you're going out, you're gonna want way more than 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've heard like rumors saying it's lacking battery power, but what do you expect? It's
a small screen holding all that stuff.
yeah, and it's got
It's gotta be
all that
powerful
horsepower
enough.
in there. Yeah,
And have enough battery. That's the fault though. Why
and
would
they have to try and
go
make
that route?
they have to make it affordable too. They can't say, oh, it's $1,000 and there's your battery power. I mean,
They're also going the cartridge route, right, for games?
yes. So very similar to kind of like the cartridges you get in for like your Nintendo 3DSs.
Now, I don't really play that. Do you lose those games occasionally?
No, I mean maybe
You
kids
think
do.
small kids would lose those games?
Yeah,
Expensive games?
yeah,
With
but-
small cartridges?
You can say kids scratch, regular discs as well. So
I guess. But like, if you say you're taking this to the park, right? Because you're taking it out. That's
Yeah.
what it does.
Yeah.
You leave your game at the park, it's gone.
well, you learn a life lesson then at that point.
I guess. You learn don't buy Nintendo.
Well, I don't know about that, but no, the cartridges. Real quick on that, there's some nice advantages, namely in load times. And most Nintendo's games aren't ginormous. They're not like the Call of Duty where it's
Yeah, okay.
like 100 gigabytes. So that's why they can fit them on cartridges. So it'll be a lot more snappy in the load screens. So that's kind of a cool advantage.
Like, don't get me wrong, it looks cool. Like, it looks really nice.
Yep.
If the battery power and the power of the system itself like lives up to like expectations, then it's a good system, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. I'm super excited for it. I'm sure they will have pre-orders going up pretty soon. If it's a reasonable price, I might have to hop on a pre-order for, like a Christmas present or something. I don't know. We'll see.
It was a little weird though they used Skyrim as their like, look at this system, it can play Skyrim.
Yeah, because I mean, Skyrim's
Like 6 years old.
Yeah, I mean, they have like the new updated.
And who's buying Skyrim?
Well, they have like the
on
new updated
Nintendo?
graphics for Skyrim, so I think that's what they're trying to get at. But
Yeah, I know that, but like everyone already owns it, so I don't know.
yeah, true. I mean, they did show a brand new 3D Mario game, so that's what I'm most excited about. And obviously,
cool.
the new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, which that'll be interesting to see
Hopefully
how.
it performs well. It looks like a good game.
Yeah. All right, so I think we spent enough time on that. Next, Red Dead Redemption 2, the trailer.
I'm excited about this.
Yes. So I actually have never played the first Red Dead
I played
Redemption.
the first one. I beat it in like 2 days. It's a really great game.
I've heard nothing but good things. The thing holding me back mostly was I've been so afraid that I'm going to play Red Dead, beat it, and then a month later they're going to announce Red Dead Redemption remastered, and I'm going to be like, well, like I just, I should have waited for that. But
Well, now you don't. Just play it now.
yeah, at this point now
You're probably pretty busy.
yeah, I can play it now at this point without being too worried about that. So, ideally in this next calendar year, I'll try and play Red Dead.
Well, if you only own a Switch, you probably won't be able to play it because it's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Well, luckily I have a Xbox One, so I'm covered there.
Okay. Well, it's also probably not coming out for PC. Probably like a year, maybe.
Well, the
Like
Red Dead
GTA did that,
Redemption,
came out
I don't
after a
know.
year.
Red Dead Redemption never made it to the PCs.
I heard it's because they had a lot of problems with the code and stuff.
Okay, well, like I can respect that.
There's a lot of money to be made on PC with Red Dead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be a huge missed opportunity to. Well, it's kind of like XCOM 2. It's the other way around though. That is it was only on PC, and then they eventually ported it to Xbox One and PS4.
It's like money to be made.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to not do it.
So like for the trailer itself, it didn't show much, but it showed enough for me. It had horses, cowboys, and guns.
So they have that theme of the 7 cowboys.
There's rumors that it's John Marston's gang. It's like there's rumors it's a prequel.
Okay, gotcha. Because they had that original. They first posted that picture.
Yeah, and then they showed him in the game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely going to be a storyline, I'm sure.
But that's what's interesting. If they're going to go prequel route, or I doubt they go continuation, because like that's almost the end of like the Wild West. Like they're introducing like motored vehicles and stuff. Okay. And I didn't see any motor vehicles in the trailer. They did have canoes, so maybe water travel is a new form of traveling. They had trains again, so
yeah,
and horse and buggy.
I'm sure we'll get plenty more news throughout the upcoming months. And then the last, actually, I don't know how many.
Also, it will release in fall of 2017.
Right. Yes. So looking forward to that. And then this last bit of news I wanted to talk about. I don't think most people probably heard about this, but there has been a class action lawsuit for the GTX 970 graphics card, and I own one of these, so that's why I know about this. But basically, when the 970 came out, it was advertised to have 4 gigabytes of the high-speed GDDR5 RAM. And then kind of when people got their hands on it and started to test it, they eventually realized that the 4 gigs, like half of the 4 gigs was actually like a slower RAM that ran close to 80% slower. So it was more like 3.5 gigabytes of the high-speed RAM, which definitely makes a big difference. So people obviously were not happy about that, and there's been litigation going on over this issue. And Nvidia, throughout the whole litigation process, they've been strongly denying any, like, that they misled anyone. They said it was a miscommunication between their, like, some departments that they have. But they realized that they can't keep the litigation going, and they finally want to settle this. So there's this class action lawsuit happening, and
isn't it that like they had to pay? Like, they've now paid like $1.3 million.
Yes, that's part of it. So
legal fees.
Yes, and the other part, the more interesting part, is that anybody who bought a GTX 970 between September 1st of 2014 through August 24th of 2016. You can get $30 from Nvidia if you file a claim, and then you can prove that you bought. It doesn't matter how many. So if you bought 5 of them for whatever reason, you could get $30 for all 5.
And how much was it originally? Like $350.
That's kind of like the average price between its real like life cycle. So so $30. I don't know. I mean, it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. It doesn't equate to that half of gigabyte. It's not like they didn't base it off of that. $30 is like an 8% refund. So, I mean, it's something. Today I submitted my claim. So, hopefully I'll get that $30.
We'll see if it's a good process or not. If it takes time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get your money back.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to take a little bit of time, but yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that because
it's a cool story.
Yeah, it's a nice little interesting story. So
we're gonna move on to movie news now.
Yeah.
All right. So there's been a lot of cool trailers over the week. First one we're gonna talk about kind of relates to games is the Assassin's Creed trailer. So what do you think of that, Eric?
The party's just getting started. That's I thought it was a funny.
Why wasn't I invited?
So it looks like.
Well, it came out on the 18th of this week.
Right. I've played the first Assassin's Creed. I played through the majority of it. And so the trailer of the movie, I mean, looked like a lot of parkouring.
That's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, a lot of jumping off of roofs and whatnot.
It's made by 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
It's starring Michael Fassbender as the leading role. It's also got Marion Cotillard, who's a great actress. She's from Midnight in Paris, a great movie. And you probably would know her from The Dark Knight Rises as Ra's al Ghul's daughter, Talia al Ghul.
Right.
It's also directed by Justin Kurzel, who directed Macbeth, which starred both Fassbender and Cotillard. So that's interesting. I haven't seen Macbeth yet. I want to. And if that's great, hopefully they have good chemistry and make this great.
Yeah, so It's kind of ironic. I couldn't help but to think. So, like I said, I've only played the first Assassin's Creed, but from what I understand, I forget which game it is, but they pretty much ruin the storyline. Like I know fans are
They
really,
ruin it in the Assassin's Creed 3, where they go like to America.
yeah, something.
I
like,
didn't play that one. That's where I stopped. I played
Yeah.
Revelations. I was like, I had enough.
I know people like were really upset about that, and it's just kind of ironic that now they're starting a movie with like it's all about the storyline.
Yeah, but I understand it because the reason I really played Assassin's Creed, like I kept playing, is because I really liked the story. You know, like I didn't play the first one, but I started with 2 and Brotherhood, and I thought they were great. I loved Desmond. Like I don't love Desmond, but like his character was interesting, and I liked Ezio, of course. Everyone loves Ezio. I mean, that story is what kept me interested. It sucked when they ruined it, and that's why I stopped playing.
Well,
so hopefully the movie doesn't ruin it.
yeah, like 3 movies in.
I mean, I don't think they're not. The story has nothing to do with the story from the games.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think his name is Callum Lynch. That's what he's going with for Fassbender. It's also going to be in the Spanish Inquisition, which most people didn't see that coming.
They're definitely putting, looks like, a lot of money into it. So we'll see the final product, see how it turns out.
Maybe it'll be the first good video game movie. Here's hoping.
It depends what you qualify as a video game movie. That's kind of a...
Jeremy Irons is in it.
I mean, like, if you want to say Wreck-It Ralph...
That might not be good.
I mean, I know no one wants that to be like...
That doesn't count.
Yeah, nobody wants that to be like, oh, that's a good...
movie based off a video game franchise.
Yeah, okay. Then, yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
It comes out
hope.
December 21st, 2016. So, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
So what do we have next?
Next, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 official trailer. It's a teaser. Not a lot there.
Yeah,
But,
so I wanted to ask you, because we both seen this movie.
Yeah, we saw the first one.
I liked it. I thought it got a lot of... It was pretty hyped. People seem to love it. I know you were kind of like lukewarm on it.
I love the characters. The characters are great. I love James Gunn, the director. Thought some of the action kind of was like not that impactful. It felt kind of like just there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it meant nothing. But overall, I liked it.
Do you have like some
I don't
more...
like the villain. The villain sucked.
Okay. Does this trailer give you more hope for the next one?
It looks exactly almost like the first one. They play the same song.
Looks like maybe they're traveling around a little bit more in this one. I don't know.
Well, yeah, hopefully it's more like kind of like going in caves and stuff, like how it started.
Like, I feel like it's guaranteed to not be a bad movie. We just don't know how good of a movie it's going to be.
Yeah. I did like they showed Rocket and Yondu together. That was cool, that scene. Interested to see what Yondu is doing.
So, like, the real question I have, though, from this trailer is, do you think they're actually going to finally kill off Groot in this movie?
Yeah, they're going to kill off little tiny Groot. That's another scene I didn't like.
I can get behind that.
Because obvious Groot wasn't going to die in the first one.
Well, they actually show him.
What's redeemed it, though? Yeah, they showed him. But redeemed it for me is that he's still small in this one. If he was full size again, I'd be like, okay, what was the point of the first one?
I'm pretty sure he's going to grow
small.
back.
It's funny. It's hilarious. I mean, you already have Rocket. Like, you already had the small, funny
small
character.
Groot's cool, but I'm sure he's going to grow throughout the movie.
Well, maybe by the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Groot will be back to Vin Diesel size.
Yeah. All right, well, that's probably enough on that. What do we have up next?
A Cure for Wellness. You might not have seen this trailer or heard about the movie. I was caught off guard. I wasn't ready for the trailer. I didn't know this movie was coming. Also made by 20th Century Fox. It was released on the 19th. The trailer looked amazing. It was beautiful. It was creepy.
Yeah, it was
intriguing.
Creepy. It was very mysterious. Actually, I got more out of reading the description.
You read the description? Because like watching the trailer and then like...
You really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and I read the description like, what?
Yeah, the description's very detailed. And
that's what Dane DeHaan's doing?
Yeah, and it sounds really interesting. It's just that right there is a lot of like you can kind of see where the movie's going to be going.
The trailer shows him like already like partaking in like treatments and stuff. It's like, why is he doing that?
Yeah, but so if you watch this trailer, I recommend reading the description. You'll get a lot more out of it. But yeah, it looks interesting for sure.
It's directed by Gore Verbinski. He directed The Ring. I never seen The Ring, but people like it. And the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Have you seen those?
The first couple.
Well, the first one's great. I mean, it's not great, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And the second and third, not so great. So, I mean, relating this back to video games, Gore Verbinski was originally supposed to do a BioShock movie.
Oh, really?
And people were saying that I haven't played BioShock, so I wouldn't know for myself, that the trailer gave off BioShock feelings.
Vibes, yeah.
Yes. So maybe he's like, hey, I had an idea for BioShock. I'm going to use it here.
Cool. The last thing I want to say real quick about this trailer, we're saying how mysterious it was and how they didn't give away a whole lot. I mean, I actually kind of can appreciate that though, because like movie trailers,
Yes.
I don't want to say like nowadays, I feel like movie trailers since they've been coming out have always kind of given away too much. Like think about,
I feel like a lot of the ones today were pretty good, not giving away a lot.
it depends. I mean, think about,
I mean, yeah, Batman vs Superman gave away a lot.
Yeah, showing Doomsday in the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. So I mean, I can appreciate that they didn't want to give away too much.
Also wanted to mention the music. This music in it was great. It was perfect. Because I wanted to mention in the Assassin's Creed trailer, music sucks. The music they've been using sucks. Not that the music itself sucks.
Okay.
In the trailer, it sucks.
Wait.
It doesn't fit.
What do you remember specifically?
I don't remember.
Because like you're definitely right. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure one of Kanye songs.
It was
the first
maybe
one.
something like that.
It just like doesn't fit the tone.
Yeah, you're right. Because they're in like the Spanish Inquisition and they're playing.
Get some like awesome instrumental music going.
Yeah, you're right.
But this trailer, they did a cover of "I Want to Be Sedated" by the Ramones.
Oh yeah.
It was great. It was like it's really creepy.
It was
and like fit really well.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. All right.
It comes out February 17, 2017. Not that far away. Hopefully people go and see it because it's probably not going to get many people to see it. Okay, it's an original idea. But we'll see.
I think it's one of those movies where they're not really it's not going to be like a box hit, box office, hit.
It's got some pretty like good stars. Dane DeHaan's great. You'd probably know him from Chronicle or The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Goblin.
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So we'll be keeping an eye out for that. That's Cure for Wellness.
Yes. Also, I want to mention Jason Isaacs in it. He plays Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah.
He was the guy talking at the beginning.
Okay, cool. All
right. That's it for that. Next trailer is really cool one, Logan.
Yes. This one was really cool.
Also made by 20th Century Fox. They're on a roll with great trailers.
So, all right, let's just, right off the bat, let's just start with the title, Logan, right?
Yes.
That's,
I think they would have used Old Man Logan, which is like, it's a comic book Old Man Logan.
That would have been cool too.
Which is gutsy because Logan, you wouldn't know it's about X-Men at all or Wolverine.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty surprised that they didn't straight up say Wolverine, Well,
they already did Wolverine.
Right, but they could have said like Wolverine, like blah, 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 or
they
whatever.
did Wolverine twice, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I think, kudos to them. It's just straight up Logan. I think that's pretty awesome.
It's gutsy. It's what I want in comic book movies, this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
If it lives up to the trailer, it might be my favorite comic book movie of all time.
Yeah, it looks great. I have honestly never followed the X-Men movies a whole lot, but this one looks really promising for sure.
Well, it stars Hugh Jackman as obviously Wolverine and Patrick Stewart as Professor X. They're now like very old, and they say the X-Men have all died.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing there's like, I don't know, there's probably more like mutants out there. He's probably referring more to the X-Men themselves, and it's gonna be a lot more in the future after Days of Future Past, like after the prelogue at the end. It probably takes place after that.
So this is definitely Hugh Jackman's last movie as Wolverine.
They say that, but you never know. Money talks.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, have you heard of any rumors of maybe who's gonna, be the next Wolverine?
Well, there's rumors that the girl in it is X-23. I'm not really familiar with it. I haven't really read X-Men comics.
Right.
But I'm assuming she has similar powers to X-Men. To Logan, because Professor X says she's like you in the trailer. So I'm assuming she has similar
right, yeah.
Powers to him. So who knows? That'd be a terrible way to go, though. Just like make her the new Wolverine.
I mean, they made in the new Iron Man comics, it's a girl. It's a gutsy thing.
It's not the fact that it's a girl. It's just I hate seeing like you just like, why can't Wolverine just be dead? He's gone.
Because money, Chris.
I mean, at least give it a few years.
Hopefully
10 years.
Hopefully that's what. Well, I don't know. We'll see, but I think it all depends how well received this is.
It's gonna be rated R,
which is awesome. Yeah.
Deadpool is rated R, so I guess they're comfortable going rated R now. Fox.
I'm cool. I'm down with that.
Also had great music. Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
That was great. The music was probably even better in this one.
People between games and movies, they've just been on point with their music lately, for the most part. Not Assassin's Creed though.
People were also another video game reference is that it's similar to Last of Us.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's more. I haven't played Last of Us, but I have seen movies like these final hours. There's a movie Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's also the movie The Road with Viggo Mortensen. Has pretty similar vibes to that. It's like kind of apocalyptic kind of feel, and you're like a grown man protecting a small child.
So I have a question. So you've seen all the X-Men movies?
Yes, I've seen them all.
All right. So I haven't seen any of them, and but I kind of want to see this movie. Do you think I'll be able to watch it without being like totally?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they're doing it in a way like they're setting it so far in the future it has like no relevance.
Okay, cool.
I mean, as long as you know,
like a little bit of background.
You know who Wolverine is.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like
Claws.
Patrick Stewart is Professor X.
Yeah.
And then
dude.
what their powers are. Like Professor X can like do mind things.
Yeah, zap you.
And Wolverine can have claws and can regenerate.
Yep. And he's sad. He's a sad dude.
He might die in this one. Wolverine. We'll see.
It'd be a good one for him.
I think that'd be a great way to end it. It's going to be released on March 3rd, 2017. Also not that far away.
No, yeah. It's coming right up.
Okay. So our next news isn't a trailer, finally. It's an announcement that Willy Wonka is going to be remade. Not remade, but a new Willy Wonka movie.
Yes.
By David Heyman and Warner Brothers. David Heyman is the producer of the 8 Harry Potter movies.
Oh, cool.
And he's also doing the Fantastic Beasts. So he has experience with adapting books to the big screen.
Yeah, so I've honestly never been much of a Willy Wonka fan. They've always kind of creeped me out.
Shame on you.
Like the Oompa Loompas and stuff. Actually,
Did you see both?
Yeah, like the new one with
Tim Burton's with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
that was crap.
Yeah, that one didn't do a whole lot better for me.
The one with Gene Wilder, the original, is great.
Parts of it I like.
The fact that it does creep you out is why it's great.
Yeah, but honestly, okay, I think part of it is because, like, quick story. So I remember watching the movie, and my dad, I was like young at this point, and my dad, I was telling him like we were talking about the Oompa Loompas, and he's like, oh, like he's like, Eric, he's like, you know those exist in real life, right? I'm like,
they do, Eric.
I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, they live in the desert. They underground. They pop up and they go and eat little kids. And I'm just like, because I was already kind of like lukewarm on them. And then I hear that and I'm little.
So you've seen the movie at this point?
Yeah, I've seen the movie. But
they only teach you life lessons in the movie.
I'm like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I'm like, oh, okay. And
that's where the kids went.
Yeah. So maybe that has part to do with it, but I don't know. I'm really interested about this, though. Fairly interested at least.
Well,
because
I'm not interested in it.
Really?
I don't need to see another Willy Wonka movie.
That's what I'm saying. I shouldn't have said like really interested. I wanted to correct myself, but
you're intrigued.
Yeah, because it's not a remake of like the original. It's going to be at least different.
It's the adventures of Willy Wonka, what he did before the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
which is like I don't care.
It's not an origin story.
It's not, but it's like I think they're trying to make a franchise out of Willy Wonka. It's like I don't need to see a Willy Wonka franchise. Let's make Adventures of Willy Wonka.
It's a cash grab.
Then they're gonna remake Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and then they're gonna have a Charlie movie.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't need to see that. But maybe this one could be kind of cool.
See a standalone Willy Wonka movie about Willy Wonka when it's not played by Gene Wilder. I know you can't do that, obviously. So just don't make it. I don't want to see someone trying to be Willy Wonka. Johnny Depp failed at it.
You know, I'm not gonna really ever knock anyone on trying something new. It's kind of like
it's not new though.
not new in the sense. I mean, it's an old IP, obviously, but
they're trying something different with it. I guess
it's like you can always, no matter how bad this movie is, you can always just never pay attention to it. You know?
Yeah, until they make 20 of them, and I have to pay attention to it because they're everywhere.
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
I mean, I like David Heyman, so that's the one thing going for it.
Yeah. All
right, and then our last bit of news, pretty recent news, is Donald Glover is going to be playing Lando Calrissian in the new Han Solo movie, standalone movie.
Yeah, so this is...
You familiar with Donald Glover at all?
Yes, I like Donald Glover as an actor.
I saw him in The Martian. That's all I really seen him in.
Yes.
I thought he was really good in it.
Have you seen like Community?
I've seen a little bit of Community, not where he's in it.
He's in 4 seasons. I'm not a huge Community fan, but I watched that for a bit. Yeah, so I don't think this is a bad casting. I think
Lando is a funny guy. Don Glover is a funny guy.
Right.
I like the casting.
I like the casting. I'm just afraid.
I don't want a Han Solo movie.
Okay, well, yeah, we could start there. But really,
I already know what young Han Solo did. It's in A New Hope.
True. But yeah, go with the casting. I mean, this is more like of a personal thing, and I know this happens to everybody. We've talked about it before, but I feel like when I see Lando in this movie, I'm gonna be seeing Donald Glover, right? Like, I mean, I know you haven't had a whole lot of experience with him, but I feel like because this happened to me in The Martian, because he wasn't like a huge character. He popped in every once in a while, and every time he popped in, I'm like, oh, yo, it's Donald Glover.
Well, no, it's up for no one really knows how much like Lando is going to be in the Han Solo movie.
That's a good point.
Could be a small role.
So yeah, it'll
Could
be
just
interesting.
be how Han got the Millennium Falcon. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just honestly hoping that they take advantage of his musical talents since he's a rapper, Childish Gambino.
Yeah, everyone knows the new Han Solo movie is going to be a musical.
Yeah, I hope they turn this into a musical.
Yes. I mean, I like this casting way better than the Han Solo casting, who is out in, I can't even say it, Aaron Reich. He's from...
Don't look at me, Chris.
He's from he's from Hail Caesar. I haven't seen Hail Caesar yet. I want to. I don't even think he's a big role in it, but it's really out of left field. I don't know. I don't think anyone else can play Han Solo besides Harrison Ford. Another, just like Willy Wonka, just like sometimes the actor becomes the character and let it die with the actor.
Well, with Star Wars, they're gonna have 40.
I don't need it. Back to the thing. I don't like prequels. I don't like you're held in a small box to make something interesting, and you already know the outcome of these things.
Exactly. Like they have the IP. Disney has this IP, and they like just go and start new.
Their first go-to movies in like the expanded universe is Rogue One, which is about getting the Death Star plans. You already know what happens. Yeah. Death Star blows up. Spoilers.
Whoa, Chris, whoa.
We could do way more with that. I'm sure Rogue One's going to be interesting in other ways with new characters you haven't heard about.
Yeah, like these aren't going to be bad movies, but it's
like you're not going to be able to continue Rogue One, really?
No.
It leads right into Star Wars.
Exactly.
And then your next idea is a Han Solo movie? You're stuck in a box there, too.
I want to see new characters. I mean, even looking at the prequels, obviously terrible movies for the most part, but at least all new characters were introduced, like Darth freaking Maul. He's a boss. I really hope.
I mean, they can introduce interesting characters in these movies. It's just like, how much can you do with them because they're held into a prequel?
Movie of just brand new
characters. You can go freaking old Republic.
Yeah, exactly. So
and nothing's attached to anything. You can't. Anything that happens like in Old Republic is not going to affect what happens in the Star Wars movies.
I mean, you think at some point they're going to have to do that. We're just kind of like waiting.
That's when I'll get back into Star Wars, is when they do something new.
I mean, I'm going to see all these movies, but
I don't want to see a Yoda movie.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to see like a even smaller green guy learning how to his ways of the Force. Obi-Wan movie. If Ewan McGregor does it, I love him, so I would be interested just for that fact. I thought he was like the only thing good about the prequels, but I still don't want to see it.
I'm going to see it, but I definitely want to see them move past the old characters.
I'm probably going to see all these Star Wars movies, even though I don't want to.
The opening,
because I love Star Wars.
The opening music's just too good. You have to, especially now that we can go back and see these movies in the theaters. I mean, this is our chance to experience Star Wars in the big screen. It was awesome
I saw the prequels on the big screen.
Well, yeah, but
it's great.
It's a little different though, because you've seen those movies. It's always exciting to go and hear that music and see the giant letters.
Music wasn't that great in Force Awakens.
The music was horrible. Actually, I was super disappointed about that. But that's a different story. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it was horrible in the sense that it was like the old music. Like they didn't make new songs really.
Yeah, there was nothing that stood out really.
Yeah. But whatever.
Like at least the prequels had Duel of the Fates.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started on.
You love that. Okay, Eric, is it copyright?
Oh yeah. So. I think we can play it for 10 seconds or so.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So that's really. I mean, nothing against Star Wars. Love Star Wars, but also hate Star Wars.
That's a love-hate relationship for sure.
That's the end of that segment. So we move on to our last one.
Yeah. So the final, we wanted to talk a little bit about a card game. It's called Imploding Kittens. And honestly, like we are super familiar with this game, but I'm not so sure that like the general public is. Like, I mean,
if you want the rules, you get to look it up. But the general gist is card game. All cards are related to like some kind of funny thing with kittens.
Mm-hmm.
You go around a circle, like kind of like Uno, and then you constantly draw cards at the top of a deck. And if you draw a bomb,
you have to
unless you have a diffuse card.
Yeah, unless you can get out of the situation, and then that's when it it gets really hectic, and you're trying to skip your turn or attack somebody else, and it's really fun. But really,
after a round or two, it's pretty easy to pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. You can play with your family and have a fun time. But really, one of the reasons we wanted to talk about it today was because the first expansion pack for it just came out, called Imploding Kittens.
Yep.
Which is a cool little twist. We played around just before this podcast. It definitely changes it up.
It's interesting. It adds, I think, more strategy, where Exploding Kittens is more RNG based. You kind of there's strat, but not as much. With the Imploding Kittens, they have way more strat now because you have way more cards and different ways to play them.
It depends how you play.
Because you got to think moves ahead.
You can mix and match the new cards. You don't have to play with all of them because it does make the deck a pretty good amount bigger.
Yeah,
so
it makes the game a lot longer.
Yeah, it's definitely. We only got to play with 3 people. I think we would have had a better time with 6.
Imploding Kittens is a game I think you need at least 4 to play.
Because the original Exploding Kittens is a 2 to 5 player games, but with the expansion you can play with 6 people, which is kind of nice. So looking forward to doing that.
The round we played was rushed. It was fun, interesting. Want to play more?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we played around, so
too early to say if it's bad or not.
I mean, it's $10, and you get, even if you don't like
a lot of cards.
Yeah, and like I said, you can mix and match. So if you don't like all the new cards, you don't have to play with them. So it's definitely a good value, I think. And
if you're interested in all, maybe just check out Exploding Kittens. Worry about imploding once you get that down.
It was as far as I know, it was a Kickstarted a project, and I believe is one of the most successful Kickstarters ever. So
let's talk about, how did you first find Exploding Kittens in the first place?
Right. So we were actually at a friend's house over the summer, and shout out to James if he's listening. He introduced it to us. He went to the local game store and
comic book store, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. And he went up to the people working there. He's like, "Hey, you recommend any good games that are out?"
Cooking good looking, he said.
Yeah, yeah. They let that slide, and then they're like, "Oh, this new game, Exploding Kittens, is getting. We like this a lot," and James bought it, and which, good on him, because
good risk.
Yeah, I'm especially with the name Exploding Kittens, I don't think I would have jumped on it, but he made absolutely the right decision, and we've been playing it. We play it with our friends a lot of the time, and it's a great little card game. It's really easy to bring with you. It's portable.
I would say Exploding Kittens is very casual.
Super casual.
Imploding might make it a little less casual.
Yeah, I wouldn't start anybody off with Imploding Kittens. I'd play the base game first, and then work your way into Imploding Kittens. But yeah, I'm happy with the expansion. I'm glad I bought it, and I'm looking forward to playing it some more.
And you'd recommend it, right?
Yes, definitely. $10, good deal.
All right. Yeah. So I guess that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, episode 1 in the books.
Could be interested to see what we do next week.
Yeah, so tune in next time. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, it's at ENT Shelf Podcast on Twitter. Facebook's just Entertainment Shelf Podcast.
Yes, so definitely give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and thank you for tuning in.
All right, thanks, bye.